I want you and that young man to tie that knot. I'm gonna pray for you. And I want you to hold on to God's unchanging hand, because he helped Joshua fight the battle of Jericho. Yes.
It's the old
He helped Daniel get out the lion's den. He helped get off the island.
Let me get straight to the business. Yeah. Got them lions in the building. Yeah. Why you lying to the children? Yeah. Why you lying to the children? Yeah. RIGHTEOUS. Man, you know I've been to bed. Man, they know they no contest. Yahuwah, he do the bled. We will not see you tomorrow. Cause you cannot go to thought. All the sons and all the daughters. Standing hard with big manotas. But my son, he made me Taurus. On that line, I'm still a Taurus. Karate kicking Chuck Norris, 4-5 on my waist. If he started, will not hesitate to get retarded. Oh lordy, he ain't got a PowerPoint, he farted. He's running to the hills like a Philistine. Jihad hitting Hamites with the guillotine. Situation turned up with the Ratchet team. JJ 7000 to the bait league. Yeah, I know them haters gon' hate me, but he won't debate me. Pistol off safety. He respond, come wake me. If I don't get up, nigga shake me. If he don't show up, then he fake G. I touch down and make these nigga nuts hate me. Dear brother. Ballin' and crawling all the way from H-time. Let me get straight to the business. Man, them lions in the building. Why you lying to them children? Why you lying to them children? You gon' cry, you gon' get it. Me, I'm like a frog, nigga, ribbit. Of course, it's in the spirit. I just got the Porsche, she can steer it. Michael got the raw, Shaq and Willie. Lamborghini doors, you better not spill it. Mama's high, say I'm more than just a villain. Mama's cry, arms open wide for her children. Suicide, immortalized as the realest, yeah. Death by cop, black suicide. Let me get straight to the business. Got them lions in the building. Why you lying to them children? Yeah. Why you lying to them children? Yeah. RIGHTEOUS. Man, you know I been there. Yeah. Man, they know they no contest. Yeah. Yahuwah, he do the bled. Wow, what's that? Why didn't take it over? Number one debate league, you heard me? When it's up, it's stuck. I'm stepping on everything, nigga. Metaphorically, of course.
Sunday, February 19th, it goes down. Or should we say it goes up? The Light Magazine and Kingdom Culture Radio presents the 4th annual Drip and Sip Remix with live performances by Sister Shalom, Yapa Q, King 7.
Coming in, we got them stacking to the ceiling.
Also performances by Ayo Ben Yahoo, Jamel the Trunk Rattler, and more. Hosted by Monologue Magad. With DJ Dr. J on the ones and twos. You don't want to miss this righteous party. Doors open at 5 p.m. The location is Live Wicks, 2405 South Collins Street, Arlington, Texas. Get your tickets today at tlhmagazine.net. The 4th annual Drip and Sip Remix. Don't miss it.
Shalom, everybody. Welcome to the Lions Den. Please like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you have not already. We have a presentation interview done by Anu KAKERAKT, so I hope you enjoy.
Peace. It's your boy Anu KAKERAKT. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know how we get down, Naga World. You can catch us at Naga 9 Studios on YouTube. Catch us Naga Nexus on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Lions Den representing. You know how we do, beating the crap out of these liars. You know what I'm saying? So we just gonna jump right into the interview. This one of our brothers.
I will bring to you right
this is our Continental brothers. You know what I'm saying? And we just want to hear we want to let Africa speak for itself. We want to let them speak for themselves, man. So nobody have no type of misconceptions about what our people, our brothers, and our cousins over across the water think. So we're gonna get into it. Nana, go ahead and introduce yourself, brother, and let the people know who you are
Yeah.
and what it is.
Just a few minutes. I'm trying to connect my earpiece so that.
Okay.
Can you hear me well?
Oh yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this is your evangelist Nana Efia Biriba Kofi Kwai in Samampum, to be precise. Kwai is located in Ghana, West Africa. The Akans, we are the ancient Egyptians. If you see any Ghanaian, any place that you are, in the United States, UK, Australia, Mexico, everywhere, the Egyptians that you are reading about them, they are we. We are Ghanaians. We are the Akans, the people that built the civilization from ancient Kanit, South and North Sudan, before Kamit, Egypt, before Mali Empire, before Akana, Ghana, Kangi, the Sumeria, the Mesopotamian, before these people came. So I am Nana Efiebriba from Kwai, that is Ghana. And my YouTube channel is Nana Bri. My Facebook account is Nana Efiebriba Kofi Kwai in Samampum. With much respect, I salute all people or all conscious souls on this platform. So you can call me Nana. That is the introduction I can give now.
Good look, brother. So Nana, man, like yeah, just so like tell us because me personally, I am a person who's familiar with the fact that the Akan, the Ga people, Ghana, the Akan people, these people are really Nubian Kushites. They are the originals of those lands. They like they were migrated out of those areas. The thrones migrated west and stuff like that. So I am very familiar with the paradigm, but we want to hear Africa speak for itself. You know what I'm saying? And like we have a lot of preconceived notions here about you guys, and we just want to clear up some of that stuff, and we just explain to us like some of the spiritual concepts that you talk and you teach to your own people about ancient Egypt, about ancient Nubia. Like let us hear some of that, man. And tell us what tribe, what family you from.
Oh, okay. When you come to Akan or Ghana or the Akan people, let me put it in this way. If you go to Genesis chapter 24, verse 27, it is coded over there, the Akans. The Akans are talking about the first people. Kan, K-A, Kan. Kan means first. Kan also means to read. Kan also means to count. Kan also means light. Okay, so the first people that was able to bring forth all this knowledge into life, the first people to invent science, the first people to invent astrology, the first people to invent, let me say, numerology, everything on this cosmos. The reason is that we've been betrayed. When these whites and their offspring came in contact with us from the northern Eurasia, they came here, they seduced our mind, they told us that everything that we are doing is bad. Okay, please, can you post this interview on my Facebook so that people over there too can get a lot of knowledge I'm going to put out today?
Sure will.
Okay. So let me start by, we have 7 tribes, 7 clans. We call it Ebusia. Ebusia in Akan means clan. We have 7 clans. We have the Ediana, Agona, Asona, Asinie, Ekwana, and Ayoko. These are the 7 clans of the Akans. And every individual as a black man or as a black Akan, you come from this family or this lineage. That is why in America, some people have been saying we are tracing our family tree. The tree of life. The tree is coming from the Trinity. The Trinity is coming from the family, your clan that you are coming from. That is why before every individual can connect to the supernatural powers of this universe, we will tell you to search for your family tree. So every Akan, wherever that he or she is coming from these 7 clans. And I'm coming from the Agona clan, Agona and Adriana, because my patrilineal clan is the Adriana clan, which is going back to the Canis Major, that is the dog family. Okay, then my maternal family is coming from the Agona, which is tracing back to what? The pirate as our totemic animal. So I am definitely a rare Akan. I was born in Ghana, and I was born in a village called Kwai. I'm still living at that place. When I was growing up, there was a lot of things our parents or our people did not tell us. We thought everything that we learned from our ancient ways or our childhood is correct or is right. But at a point in time, when I grew up and I went to the university at DHS level before my secondary school, my senior high, before the tertiary to the university, my grandmother, I stayed with my grandmother. My grandmother told me stories that before I was born. Let me take time to explain the reason why, or just a few minutes to explain when and how I was born. My grandmother told me that my mother was married to my father 3 years with no child. After that 3 years, they traveled to a river goddess. The river goddess assured them that they will give birth. So after the 3 years, I was conceived. 3 days, my mother was trying to give birth Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It took 3 days before I was coming to this set. I just landed on this set Friday night. That was 30th April 1993, according to the Gregorian calendar. If you trace back to the old ancient calendar, it is 30th April 13,093. That is the original calendar. That is the original calendar that we are. So we are in 13,223 or 1323. This is the original year that we are having. So my grandmother told me that the woman, the midwife that was there, told my grandmother that I am a special born, I'm a special being. So my grandmother should take very good care of me. So when I was also growing, my father, my mother was Christians. They took me to the church. So I stayed church, and I was even, let me say, I was one of the greatest or the best members at church. I was even leading the Sunday school. So 2015, when I entered to the tertiary level, I started learning about cosmos. I started learning about our supernatural universe. I started learning about the accounts. Then I found out that no, there's something missing. When we vacated home, I came to my grandmom. My grandmom told me that everything that we've learned from our infancy is lies. There is no any man as a white man hanging in the skies, or there is no any black man in the earth. That one day they are called Jesus and Satan, they will come and take us. But indirectly, our culture is the greatest culture. Our culture is the massive culture that was what existing on this earth. And my grandmother even emphasized that in the ancient of days, when she came and what her mother told her is that it was only blacks on this universe. It was only blacks on the continent. There was not any white. The white came as a result of what? Some crosses or some what? A lot of different things all together. So I facilitated on practicing my culture. The greatest ritual for every individual here to connect to the supernatural powers is libation. So today I'll go deep in libation. When we talk about libation, libation is called prayers in Akan. And in Akan, we call it apaye or empire. Apai means to bust. Or mepe aye means I want to do. Or mepe aye or mapai aye, I've done it. So libation goes like mepe aye, I want to do. So the ancestors and the deities of this universe support me so that everything will be done in the right way. So when we talk about libation, a lot of people don't know about libation. Libation is going back to the drink offering. It's going back to what? Jeremiah chapter 44, verse 17. It's quoted in the Bible. It's a quote. It says, for us, we vow to pour drink offering and wine offering to the Queen of Heaven. When we are talking of the Queen of Heaven, we are talking about the moon. And the moon is tracing back to the Alphite theology. That is the Gnostics theology, which is tracing back to what? The Christian analogy. The Alphite is also tracing back to the mother of the waters. When we talk about the mother of the waters, we are talking about Mami Water, the primordial feminine deity or the primordial what? Feminine and masculine energy that existed before all life came into being. So the moon that you see or we see is a symbolism for the primordial what? Cosmic mother. That is why the moon controls the tides. That is why the primordial waters is a symbolism what? For the great cosmic what? Universe. So when I was trying to pour my libation, this quotation or this verse in the Bible gives what? A clue, gives a clear understanding that there is a greatest entity that existed before what? These whites and their offspring, their culture. When they talk about Jesus, Jesus never represents anything, but indirectly Jesus represents the SU and the sun. The stars are called Instroma in Akan. When we say Instroma, yeah, someone is saying Inga, Yeah, Inga or Nganga or. Okay, the Nganga or. The Nganga or is talking about what? The Naga. The Naga is talking about the snake. The python snake, which represents the cosmic mother. The symbolism of water is always snake and fish. Okay, so before every individual can connect to the primordial universe, the cosmos, you have to make sure that you get a drink offering or you get a wine. When you talk about wine, anything, any drink that you can drink, any alcoholic drink or any alcoholic beverage that you can take in, any water that you think is very good for you, you can take it within yourself. You can use it for rituals or you can use it for libation. When we talk about libation, libation is not of what? Any bad thing. Libation is the natural way of communicating to the great deities of this cosmos. Let me show you. This is the universe, or this is the atmosphere in Ghana. But I can see, or I can know that in the United States, it is very what? Lighting, or there is what? The skies is light, or it's lighted over there. The sun has set. Now it's sunset in Ghana. It's now what? Also mid-afternoon at what? The United States. And it is night at what? Kenya. If you go to Kenya, it's night there. Now it is also becoming night in Ghana. Small time, it will be night in the United States. This is telling you how this cosmos is being run by supernatural powers. Okay, and the cosmos, everything that you are seeing on this cosmos is running through the waters. So if you want to connect to this primordial waters, you have to use any liquid or anything which is in the form of what? Liquid. So the prayers that Christians have been going to church, praying gaba 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 doesn't solve any problems. Okay, if it solves problems, Africans supposed to be fine by this now. Africans supposed to liberate themselves by this now or by this time. So it is about time that I'm trying to make sure that my people around the whole continent will know the truth about everything about what Ghanaians and the Akans. Okay, we are not Christians. We facilitate our ancestral spirituality. That is our ancestral culture. We don't bear to these white and colonizers what ideas. Before everyone can also initiate himself into libation, before you can pour libation, you have to firstly remove your sandals or any shoe. Then you go with barefooted, your barefoot on the ground. You get your ceramic cup or any vessel which is coming from a wooden or a ceramic or a clay object. Then you pour your libation in or use it for your libation. So my people around everywhere, I'm trying to make sure that accounts, the rare culture, the rare tradition of our culture will transcend to the whole cosmos or to the whole universe. So, my fellow colleagues over here, if there is any question you wish I can explain further, or if there is something you want me to add up.
Yeah, we got a few brothers on the call right now, bro. It's interesting that you brought up Naga because that's the name of our group here. Is called Naga World Order, and a lot of us actually come from traditional backgrounds of Nigeria, Igbo, Ga. Like me personally, I'm Ga. I'm Nia Marte. I'm from the Asare tribe, which I'm sure you're familiar with. You know what I'm saying? So this is a very interesting bill, brother. So can you talk to us about uh when when did the Akans migrate into West Africa?
Okay, okay. Yeah, let me go deep. Let me go deep. Before this universe came into being, it was primordial darkness. When we talk about primordial darkness, that is where the whites and their offsprings used to change our mind because they know that one day we will not die and go and see the God in the universe. They know that one day we will not die and go and spend in the universe and suspend in the universe. And they know that we are not going to be like a magnet that will come and pick us and what use us to pass through the universe. I don't know how this concept, they were building this concept. But in the beginning, it was primordial darkness, which was called Amen, Amenet. That is why Christians go to church. They say Amen after their prayers. It is Amen, Amenet. Amen represents the masculine energy of the primordial supreme being. And Amenet represents what? The feminine energy of the primordial supreme being. We use T for feminine energies in ancient of days Egypt. So Amen, then Amenet. Then in Amen Amenet, we accounts, we call it Ka, Nananyankropong, Nananyankonton, or Amen Amenet is called Trediampong. Some accounts use a lot of names to call what? The Supreme Being. But in ancient of days, we call it Amin, Aminet. Amin, Aminet now in the black substance of space where nothing less existed, exercise their consciousness. When we talk about consciousness, we are talking about the Ka. Ka represents male and Kayet represents feminine energy of the what? Great consciousness of the Amin, Aminet, or the great supreme being. Now the Ka, Kayet now develop into primordial consciousness, which is developing into the Noon, primordial Noon. The primordial Noon is talking about the primordial ocean floor, the Noon and Nunet. After the Noon and Nunet, Ra, Raet, which are the cosmic creators, the self-creators. The people call it Amon Ra, Amon Ra. Okay? Amon Ra is coming from account Amwawia, Oboawia or Amwawia, which is Amon Ra, the one who created the sun. Okay? Now, when Ra came into being, Ra now created itself as Shu and Tefnut. Shu and Tefnut now created what? The sky goddess. That is Nut and Geb. Now, Nut and Geb corresponds to what? The birth of what? Usa and Uset. When you talk about Usa and Uset, giving birth to Hiru, it's talking about what? The first entities that came to live on this earth. Okay, and we, the Akans, are the first people or the first descendants. We came from what? The first deities of this primordial cosmos. Now, the first land that the Akans, or the first land that the black man or the first individual stayed on is North and South Sudan, which was called Kanit. Kanit. That is called Nubia. Now they call that place Nubia, where our kingdom or our great city was called Kush. Now, from some years, that is 2,000, 3,000 years ago, or after 3,000, 2,000 years, there was an invasion. We now migrated to Kamit. Kamit is talking about Kemet. Kemet is talking about Egypt. Egypt. So after Egypt, the years, I'll get the years, I'll post over here. After Egypt, we now migrated from Egypt to Mesopotamia. Mesopotamia was where they call it Cana. Cana is coming from the Akan word Cana. The Cana people before the Kangi people. After the Kangi people, we got the Sumeria people. So the Sumeria people, after the Sumeria people, we got the Akkadian people. The Akkadian people is also tracing back to the Akan people. Now, after some years, we migrated south or westwards towards the Mali Empire. When you talk about the Mali Empire, it was just talking about that was, let me say, 1600s or 1800s. It was that time. We migrate. The years that they've given to people on the media or on the internet is lies. The years they've given to us, how we migrated, that years are lies. We've been here for thousands of years. Okay, so our migration was even as a design as some people trying to search for what good place or good land for us to stay. So we were coming in a gradual groups. Okay, in a gradual groups. So when we migrated from the Kangi, the Sumeria, Acadia, so-called that place, we migrate. Our last place that we migrated to is the Mali Empire. We now emphasize on the Akan Empire or the Akan civilization by Mansa Musa. Mansa Musa as the greatest or the richest man on earth. He's an Akan. We started our civilization over there. When there was an invasion, now we migrated to West. That is now previously Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire. So we've been here for aeons and dynasties. I don't want to give fake years. That is why I don't want to mention years. Okay, I want to give the correct years. So now I'm awake. You can see, but I'll try to give the following years. When I finish, I'll try the next video that we will do. I'll try to correspond with the estimated years. My grandmother gave me the years, and I have a book that contains all these years. I don't want to put it, or I don't want to put forth fake knowledge to my people. Always, I'm raw and I'm a truthful person. So the years, I've forgotten some of the years, and I don't want to put fake years. So we migrated to Ghana. Now we establish our culture again. Some people migrated towards the Benin. At first, Nigeria was also part of Benin Empire. Okay, then the Efon people. So after some years, when the whites and the offspring came in contact with us from Ghana, they took some of our ancestors as prisoners of war. Before the Akans landed in the Americas, there were black people called the Olmec people. The Olmec people are also descendants from the Indians. Okay, and the Indians and the Chinese are also coming from the black race. Do you understand? So before the Akans got to America, there were black people over there. But as a result of the Akans going to America was slaves. They took us as what? Prisoners of war. Let me put this forth into my people. In Akan, at first, when this slave era happens, it was like conflict between communities. Imagine if I'm having a community and some person or someone is also having a community. If that person is able to come and fight me and take over my lands, he has opportunity or he has the ability to rule upon my people and my community. That is how the whites and the offspring came to manifest everything here. Do you understand? When they came here, they conquer us. Now they took some of our ancestors as prisoners of war, send them to the Americas, okay, to work for them. That results the accounts in the Americas. Either than that, the accounts were always in Ghana. Let me put this just a short thing here in my video. Is that I'm trying to build a spiritual center. So anyone who is here who wish to support, if you go to my Facebook account, you can send me an inbox message through my messenger, Facebook messenger. Yes, I'm trying to build a spiritual center to enlighten my fellow Africans. So if you wish to support, you go to Nana Efia Bidiba Kofi Kwai Samampom. That is my Facebook account. Then you go to my inbox, messenger inbox. You send me a notification that you wish to support, and I'll make sure that I'll give you the necessary requirement for you to reach me. Yes. So let's go back. So before we entered into the Americas, we sent forth our culture, and we were following our culture. Our culture is called amamre in Akan. When you say culture, it's called amamre. Okay, and the ability for you to sustain your culture is amanye. Amanye represents the things that you do to sustain your culture. You understand? And amamre represents the constitution or the rules of the society or the community. That is the cultural principles that were guiding us our lives. Okay, so this as a result of we the Akans migrating from Kanit, that is Nubia or North and South Sudan, before Kamit. So the pyramids that you are seeing at Egypt, it was built by we the Akans. Okay, and before Christianity was about to start, they excavate our cuneiforms, our papyrus, and everything that we were using to bury our ancestors. That is our pharaohs. Now they started writing books about them, bringing them to us that there is a man in the heavens. Now that one day he's going to take us to the heavens, and we are going. I don't know how far these things are going to exist, because it is what is above, what is below. So, please, if there is further question that you want me to explain to my people.
Okay, so I want to go back over like some of the stuff you said, because you brought up Mansa Musa, the Mali Empire. You brought up Kana or Ghana. So where do your people sit when it comes to the slave trade? Because we're basically told that Africans in Africa don't know anything about the slave trade, and that the slave trade was a lie and it never happened. So can you if you know anything about that, just share that with us.
Yes, you can go to the media or YouTube and search about Deadly Voyage. Deadly Voyage. You can learn about Deadly Voyage. You can put it. It's a video about accounts when they taking our ancestors on the slave ship, the first ship that came to Africa. You can learn from that. You can go to the internet and type in the first ship, which was called Jesus, that landed on the seas and came to Africa. Okay. Yes, my brother told me that slavery went on. Anyone who is telling my people that
Man, you chopping up a little bit. Mute your mic. Yeah, you chopping up just a little bit. I heard Deadly Voyage, and that's a research site for the transatlantic slave. You know, tracing it to its origin back to different places that it came from. I'm familiar with that website. But continue. But you was breaking up just a little bit.
No problem, no problem. So you can put a Deadly Voice so that people can see. You see, my grandmother told me that when they were young, okay, at times there are some big men that comes with the white men around the communities. You see, where they were staying is village. And when they come, they will just lure their mothers. Oh, this child is very nice. We can take him to the city, educate him, help him to grow. And the big people, those that they were big and stout and tall, they were taking them as soldiers, police, fire service, and all those stuff. My grandmother told me physical stories. Okay, so the Akans, when we are talking about the Akans, we are not Americans. Okay, but as a result of slave trade, when these whites came to Ghana, they made one with the Ashanti King, Ashanti Kingdom, Nana Osei Tutu. I'll not lie. I'm going to tell you the truth. This truth I'm going to tell you, I'm sure some of the Ashantis or some of the kings in Ghana will be very, very, very
Yeah, they're gonna be mad at you, bro.
That is it. They will try to be following me, causing problem. But this secret I have to unveil to my people. It's the Ashanti King, Nana Osei Tutu, who sold Ghanaians. The Ashanti King, he was, if you look at, that is why it is the only the Ashanti King that can go to Britain or that can go to the Queen Elizabeth. If you come to Africa, it's only the Ashanti King that has the ability to talk to what the British Queen. This is the reason that he was the first person to what sell people from Ghana to her. He was the first person to sell our cultural materials, our cultural lineage materials, our armament, our ancient armament. We call something like Sikeja Kofi, that is the golden stool. They sold it to the British. Okay, so when the British came into contact, if you look at the slave trade in Ghana, there was a lot of people that came here. The Arabs came here, but the British, they are the people that came here to put us to the lowest aspect of our lives. When they came to the Ashanti King. That is Nana Osei Tutu. Nana Osei Tutu now gave them some place to stay. And Nana Osei Tutu was having a place called Okomfanochi. Okomfanochi was not supporting this idea. So they tried all their means to kill Okomfanochi, and they told us that Okomfanochi went and he said he's going for what? Death medicine to bring. Indirectly, it is as a result of what? The colonizers, that is the British Queen and the Ashanti King. Nana Osei Tutu, they killed Okomfanochi. After they killed Okomfanochi, now the people, Ashanti people were fighting their own people in Ghana. The Ashanti people are called the Ashantis, and we have what the Achim, we have the Achim Ebuakwa, Achim Bosome. Do you understand? So when these people, Ashanti people, were fighting some of the communities to get people to sell to the whites, some of the Akans were able to conquer these people. We have the Guans people. The Guan people are staying at the mountainous area. The Guans people were not encountered with any slave. So when this leader, Nana Osei Tutu, now was able to conquer some of the cities or some of the communities or some of the villages, he took most of their people, registered them as prisoners of war with the whites and their offsprings. Now they sent them to the Cape Coast Castle. Now, if you go to Cape Coast, if you come to Ghana and you visit Cape Coast Castle, you still hear the scent of our ancestors. So what are that scent for? They killed our ancestors. They murdered them. They brutalized them at Cape Coast Castle, our own fort. It's true that slavery happened. That counts. They took up to South and North Carolina. Do you understand? So if you go to North and South Carolina, there are a lot of Akans over there who speak Cree, who speak Akan dialects, who are not natives of what? Americans, or who are not Native Americans, but indirectly they were transported or they were sent as slaves or prisoners of war. And they send them to the cotton farm, okay, to go and work for them. This is the truth I'm giving to my people. So slavery happened. It's Asante Hini, okay, and some of what the kings in Ghana, they collaborated with the British and they sold a lot of people to the America. Do you know America is not on its own? America is owned by Queen Elizabeth and it is ruled by the Rome. America is a corporation. It's a corporation.
I was just want to insert that, bro. You ain't telling no lie. I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm familiar with it because I told you I was in the studio to a royal house, so I actually understand what you're talking about. So, just for the audience, let them know about the Battle of Catamanso.
Catamanso, yeah. The Battle of Catamanso. Yeah, when you talk about Catamanso, even one political party in Ghana is using the Akatamanso. Akatamanso, Akata means to cover Akatamanso means to cover or to take control of all the Omai means nation, or Omai means community. Kata means to cover. Okay, so Akatamanso means to cover all the nations or to seduce the nations below, or to seduce the nation below some king. When you talk about the conflict of Akatamanso, it's talking about the Ashanti king. Okay, and even we have the 18 is it 19 or 1844 bond or something bond. The Akatamanso is just talking about when the Ashanti king was trying to conquer the other tribes. Okay, and he killed some of the kings in Ghana, took some of them or their people as prisoners of war. That is when, as Achim Hene, That is Osajefo Amotia Ufuripeni. That is the Achim King, who is now at Chebi. He also supported Nana Asantehene that time, Osei Tutu. And you know, Osei Tutu is tracing back to Tutu and Kama. Tutu
Yep.
and Kama. Yeah,
Yep.
Tutu and Kama. He's
Facts.
tracing back to Tutu and Kama. Yes. So when Osei Tutu now was conquering all these nations, he now signed the Achim Hini, that is Osajefo Amotia Ufuripeni, to support him to conquer all these communities. And they did so. So when they they were able to take over the Akan society, that is the Achim society and the Bono society and the Fanti, but they were not able to conquer that. We call some people the Guans. The Guans are the first people to land on this Ghana land. Okay, that is where Okonfanochi was coming from. Okonfanochi was not a Christian, was not an Ashanti. He was a Guan. The Ashanti people went to lure them and took him from there. Okay, so when you talk about the conflict of Akatamanso, this is talking about Ashanti King conquering all the states in Ghana. At first, it was state. Okay, it was not communities as we are seeing. It was state. So when the Ashanti King was trying to gain power, was trying to rule and get fame, because in the ancient of days, no one respects you as a king because everyone was following his culture and her culture. We were all giving respect to ourselves individually. But when these people wanted fame, wanted money, materialistic life, they tried to cause conflict between ourselves. Okay, so the conflict of the Katamanso is talking about how the Ashanti people use their let me say prisoner, like the Ashanti people went for the Northerners. Let me put this one here also. The Northerners was very thick and stout, okay, but the Ashanti people were very short and smallish. So they started fighting the Northerners. So if you go to the Ashanti Kingdom, most of the Northerners have now become Ashantis because of the slave, because of the Akatamanso war that went on. Because when the Ashanti King, when they go for war and they conquer the Northerners, they took their stout, their great men, bring them down to the Ashanti Kingdom, let them marry or let them have sex with the Ashanti women so that they can give birth to thick and stout and strong men. Do you understand? Thick and stout and strong men, so that they can send them for war.
Wow.
So if you go to even Ashanti, there is a state called Etia, Nanetia, Kejetia. That is where we have the Kejetia. If you know Kumasi, Kejetia market. Kejetia was built by Nanetia. Nanetia was a northerner. They conquered Nanetia. Even Ashanti name, which is Kumase, is coming from Kumase. When we say Kumase means to kill and begin something. Okay, so the Ashanti Kingdom, let me say, is a kingdom of the British. Even though we are in Ghana, but the Ashanti Kingdom is the kingdom of the British. That is where they say Kumase or Kumase. Okay, so if I'm going back to the Katamanso war, it's a lot.
Wow.
It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a
Wow.
lot.
Yeah,
So,
that's that's interesting because like I said, because I belong to a God house, the Asare house, I had to learn some of God history, and that was one of the bigger things that one of the major things that they had us learn was about the Battle of Catamanso, because their claim was that they were fighting against the Ashanti to stop slavery, and that they actually linked up with the British to do the shit. You see what I'm
not
saying?
lying.
So
that is the truth.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. A lot of people just don't know African history. They don't know that our Africans actually died trying to stop slavery, trying to stop all of those atrocious things. Like I was just speaking that, telling that to the sister earlier, is that a lot of people just don't know the history when it comes to that. Like those people died. Like the millions of Africans died to stop that shit, and it was only the endeavors of opportunistic kings and chiefs who did that shit, because no one gave them permission to
No, it was
sell
the
people.
kings.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my. I'm glad you touched on that, bro, because a lot of what people need to hear that when it comes to understanding the Ashanti kingdom and dealing with the Akan and the Ga, the Fon, you know what I'm saying? When you're dealing with all of those different tribal groups, you got to understand their politics. So, you know, us being in the United States, we can't just look at that and just be pointing fingers. You got to actually understand the economy of that, because, you know, we trying to link up and unify our people from across the water to over here. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, like I said, we're gonna get off it deeper off into some more questions, man. So, when did you first understand that your people were the original Nubians, the original Egyptians? And when you found that out, like, how did that make you feel as an African?
Sure. Yeah, thank you for this question. This question is a very deep question. At times I shed tears, and that is how it's supposed to be. Okay. Yeah. You see, when I was growing up, for my childhood, I was a Christian. I was coming from a Christian background. That is my father, my mom, they are all Christians. So they told me my grandmother is a witch. I should not go close to my grandmother. So 2009, I completed GHS, that is junior high school in Ghana. My grandmother told me that if I have time, I should come and visit her. Anytime I go to my grandmother, she used to tell me about my ancient ancestors. That my great ancestor was a king. He was a king at Chibi. My great grandmother was also this. He was a queen mother here. It was this. But that time I was a Christian, so I was afraid of my grandmom. So I just forgot about my grandmom. 2010, 11, 12, 13, I completed my senior high. That is senior secondary school, senior high school. When I came home, that was 2013, my grandmother continued to tell me all these things. And she told me that we have been here for long. We have been here for long. So I never thought of, we have been here. How have we been here for long? Jesus is coming, and how is it that we've been here for long? You people, you are saying you are going to heaven, you are going to join a man, a white man. Why? So I told my grandmom that I'll do my own research. Fortunately, my grandmother was having ancient books of her grandparents, so she gave it to me. So I started reading. And you see, when I started reading, I saw the names linking to Akan names, ancient names which are linking to Akan names, ancient deities which are linking to Akan deities. And my grandmother was also explaining a lot of things in response to the book, but because she cannot read, she never knew what is going on in the book, or she never read the book, and she never knew anything in the book. But everything that she says, every culture or every practices that we were performing in our community is the same, in accordance with the same book. Especially if you take the Pet An Heru, the Egyptian Book of the Dead, okay? We are having its version in Akan. We have its version in Akan. The book my grandmother gave me, there is no topic, or there is no heading, there is no author, but it is a brown book with ancient inscriptions in Akan dialect. So I started finding out that no, there is even I never knew there is a pyramid. So I said, no, there is a pyramid. Some people build some pyramid. What is pyramid? I started learning about pyramid. I started learning about the deities. And what made me aware, to become conscious, to realize that our people are the ancient Nubians or the ancient Kanit people, is that libation. Libation is the best way that clarifies everything to my life. Because on 2016, in my community, or in 2016, my community, there was a lot of high death rate according to what? Curse. And the curse was through libation curse. When someone wants to kill someone in a can, and he takes one egg and gets one local egg and gets wine, pour it on the ground and mentions the person that he wants to cause the curse to, his or her name, and crush the egg on the ground. I'm telling you, my fellow Ghanaian, my fellow African, my fellow black man, wherever that you are, you will go. If someone mentions your name and you committed with one local egg and wine, pour the wine on the ground, pass the egg on it. If you have a lot of medicine, you will go. So 2016, there was a lot of high death rates according to this.
Don't tell them how to use the magic, man. Don't tell them how to use the juju. Don't tell them that. You gotta keep some of that to yourself, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't give them the Jews with that.
So I realized that no. So if someone gets egg and gets wine and he mentions someone's name, crash it on the ground, the person is able to die. Wow. So then I went to the Bible, and they were talking about libations. The books I was reading was also talking about libation. All the goddess pour libation. All goddess Nut pour libation. Gabe pours libation. Heteru, which is a fee, post libation. Hiru, post libation. And every entity was also holding the ankh. The ankh was going with libation. So I said, no, if someone can get egg and wine, cause problem, and it happens, why is it that I also take, if I take this egg and I get this wine, and I also pray for good life, good health, it will come into being, or it will come into manifestation. So that was 2015 when I started doing my researches, doing a lot of things. So 2018, I started pouring my libation. I was afraid because they told me at church that libation is very bad. If you go close to libation, you die. If you go close to any river, you die. If you go close to any mountain, you die. So I was afraid. But 2018, from 2009, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, now my researchers were proving to me that no, libation is the greatest prayer that I can do. So I started pouring my libation. And my first day of pouring libation was very, very powerful. Through libation, I got the ability to contact my great grandmother, who told me a story of our family, the family that I'm coming from, and who told me who I am, who told me who I'm going to be, and who told me what I have supposed to do. And still now, I still communicate with my grandmother in my dreams. Okay, if I just need, she has given me the things that I can use to penetrate her. If only I need her, and if I need knowledge, I should just contact her. At times, I come to the media, to Facebook, and give some messages. I also go back to learn because my grandmother has assured me that anytime she's with me, anytime that I seek for her presence, she's with me because she has been my angel to send me forth everything. So through my libations, I was able to encounter a lot of entities, especially the river at my hometown. Okay, reveal herself to me at times. It's a lot. I cannot put a lot of things on the media. Do you understand? So it was something which was coming from what? Experiences and physical practicals that I did. Okay, and I've encountered a lot of entities, a lot of human beings, a lot of entities as well. Yeah. That made me recognize how the accounts. And if you go to the Bible, okay, all the deities, if you look at the 12 constellations in the universe, if you look at the 12 astrological signs, they are all coming from Akan, especially the Sphinx. The Sphinx is represented by Leo. Leo, the lion, is corresponded to what? Corresponded to the Sphinx, which is Leo. That is why the Sphinx, when you talk about the Sphinx, the Giza, the pyramid, they all trace back to the Sphinx, which is the lion of Judah in summer. The sun moves towards the Leo, the star constellation called Leo, which is lion, and it is based on the Sphinx. Like Uset is Virgo. Uset is Virgo, the virgin woman. Okay. Neat is Sagittarius. Okay.
Wow.
And if you trace back, Maat is Libra. Okay.
Wow.
And Ophiuchus is also tracing back to Sekhmet. And I have all these things. So I trace back and I say, wow, all these things are coming from my ancient ancestral knowledge. And I don't know. Okay, so as I trace everything, I recognize that no, there is something wrong. And Kunun, who is the porter, the creator of Onipa, the functioner of Onipa, is also represented as Capricorn. That is why they represent Capricorn as the goat, because Kunun is having a ram head, who is the function of Onipa, human beings, who is corresponded to the Capricorn. That is why Freemasons use the Baphomet at their secret society. They are tracing back to Kunun, the porter, the creator of Onipa, the functioner. You understand? So
Hello.
So when I was trying to get all these connections, I saw that no, the accounts, the ancient Nubian, we are the rare accounts. And if you trace back, even the Bible that they've given to us, if you trace back, most of the cultures that they put inside is performing Akan or is performing Ghana here. You understand?
Like
Mr. White, can I ask you a question? Or make a comment? I'm from Ghana myself. I'm an Akan from Amakom.
Amakom?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Your name, please.
Yasef Samora.
Oh, okay. You can send me friend request on Facebook so that we can link up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll do that.
Sure.
That. I just wanted you to touch on our God, basically, and explain to them our God, because I don't know if you know our God, Tridiampon Kwame.
Tridiampon Kwame.
Yes,
Yes.
sir. So if you could just speak upon that a bit, basically, because I just want the picture, because we're one. We used to worship one God, basically, which is Nyankopon Chidiampon Kwame.
Nyankopon,
That's
Twediampon,
correct.
Amen.
That's
Amen.
that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So
So
if you can let the people know, and then our culture, the culture connected to the Bible, i.e., the trumpet, blowing of the trumpet, the ram's horns, the yam festival, and,
Speak.
and all these things. If you could break that all down for them, that would be
oh,
great.
okay. Okay. I'll know. I'm going. So please, today is going to be a lot of knowledge I'm going to drop over here
Thank you,
because
Yashep. I appreciate it because you know a little bit more than what we can ask. So anybody that have a question, type it in, or if you have a question, don't hesitate to ask the brother.
No
oh,
problem, Sister Lehefa. I hope
yeah,
you're doing good, though.
sure. Please, can I carry on? Can I carry on?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So when we talk about trading ponkwa amen means hidden, permanent, abiding, primordial being. When we talk about amen means hidden, permanent, abiding, and primordial being who existed where nothing less existed. So when we talk about amen is talking about what? The great primordial supreme being. That is amen and amenet. They are great primordial supreme being. And amen now gave birth to the kakayet. Please follow me very well. The kakayet is talking about the great consciousness which is developing to the Nununet. Now, from the Nununet, Ra Riot was born. Now, Ra Riot now creating the universe, now created Tradian Ponkwa Ame. When we talk about Tradian Ponkwa Ame, we are talking about the sky goddess. That is why in Akan, when we take wine or any drink before we pour libation, we show it to the skies. We show it Tradian Ponkwa Ame. The reason why we say Tradian Ponkwa, Kwa means KWA. Kwa means servant. Kwa means servant in Akan. So if you have if you look at the 7 days of the week, all the males are called Kwa Ame, Kwa Ejo, Kwa Eku. You understand? All the male are signifying or let me say they are qualified with the name Kwa, KWA, which is Kwa. Kwa means servant. So the sky goddess was represented as what? The servant of Amen, the servant of what? The supreme being, because within the skies is where the sun arises every day and go and set. Within the skies is where we have night and what? Day. Within the skies is where the moon arises and go and falls. So when we raise our hands or when we raise any wine, we say Tradian Ponkwa Ame. The reason why we explain Tradian Ponkwa Ame represents what? The firmament, the sky goddess. So Tradian Ponkwa Ame was the greatest god some of the accounts were given honor to. And Tradian Ponkwa Ame is the husband of Asasiya. Asasiya or Asasi is corresponded to two feminine deities, which are called Usaset, Hetepet, and Usaset, Neptepet or Hetepet. This is talking about what? Asasiya and Asasi Efua. Asasiya is Usaset, Usa Aset, Hetepet, and Asasi Efua is Usa Aset, Hetepet. These are what the feminine deities, which are wives of what? Tradian Ponkwa Ame. Tradian Ponkwa Ame represent the sky goddess. And the sky goddess is the father that nourish what? All this earth. Before it rains, it is our father that give us what? The rain energy. The light, which is coming from the photosynthesis, which is coming from the light energy, from the sun, from Jesus. Jesus is the SUN, okay? So from Jesus, energy from Jesus, before plants can take the sunlight from Jesus to prepare their food, is coming from Tradian Ponkwa Ame. So Tradian Ponkwa Ame is what? The deity that serves what? Amen. The deity, that is why Jesus said, if you see me, you've seen the Father. Okay, so the Son is called Nana Nyankropong. The Son is the creator called Nana Nyankropong Nyankontong. Nyankropong is the creator forces. Nyankontong is the feminine energy or feminine energy
Facts.
for the creator forces.
God is
Do you
light.
understand?
Amen.
Yeah. So the creator as Nana Nyankropong, Nana Nyankotong is Ra Riot. Now they function to create what? Shu and Tefnut. Shu and Tefnut created the sky goddess, which is Tradian Ponkwa Ame and Asasiya. Okay, so when we talk about Tradian Ponkwa Ame, we are representing what? The sky goddess, which serves Amen, because if you look at the skies, that is why the white says Jesus and the Father is in the skies. God is in the skies. God means God means generation, operation, and dissolution. Generation, operation, and dissolution. That is God. Okay. So before everything came into it is generation. Okay, and everything operates. But with time, most of the things which are not natural dissolute. That is generation, operation, and dissolution. So my fellow yourself, if you are talking about trading upon Kwame, trading upon Kwame is the what? The sky goddess that controls what heaven and that controls what the night, the moon, the stars, the constellations. Okay, and Nana Nyankropon, Nana Nyankontong, which are the creator forces. That is Ra Raet. Okay, so in Akan, because of misinformation and misinterpretation and miseducation, even we've lost the great connection to the great supreme being. Most people call Tradian Kwame as the great supreme being or the father or the great father, but indirectly that is wrong. The great supreme being is called Amen Aminet. Amen Aminet. That is Nana Nyamewa Nana Nyame. Nana means what? A name given to a noble person. Nana also means a name given to a king. Nana also represents a name given to a grandfather. Nana also represents a name given to a grandmother. Na, and na also means a mother. And na also means the cemetery grave. Okay? And nyamiwa, nyam, amen. Nyam means light. Nyam means bright. Nyam means very noble person. Okay? That so wa is talking to the feminine energy. That is why if you go to India, they say nuwa, mama nuwa. So we call it nyame nyame, nyam, amen. Anything that you get, you are satisfied. Nyam, bright, very calm, very noble, very me means to be what? Okay, so the feminine energy was symbolized with what? Wa, that is WA. So Nana Nyame represent the masculine energy, and Nana Nyame Wa represents what? The feminine energy. So Nana Nyame is the great supreme being. And Nana Nyame gave birth to Kakayet. That is Okra. In Akan, the Kakayet is called Okra. Okra means the soul. Okay, through the Okra gave birth to the Insio. Insio represent the Nununet. The Insio Nununet gave birth to Ra. So from the waters, all life came into being. I hope you get me right now. So
Facts.
there is difference between Nana Nyankropong and Nana Nyankontong and Trading upon Kwame. Okay, then the supreme being, which is Amen Aminet. So Amen Aminet is the great supreme being. The hierarchy, Amen Aminet is the great supreme being. That is the hidden, primordial hidden being, permanent abiding being. Okay, then Nana Nyankropong, Nana Nyankontong is what? The creator, which is Ra Raet. Then Trading upon Kwame is the sky goddess, whereby some people call it what? Nut. Okay, and Asasiya is what? Gabe. I hope this is very clear for my people.
Hey, peace, brother.
Sorry. So I'll let you go, Kashu.
Thank you. Thank you. Peace to the panel. Peace to brother New Cat. Peace to sister Karima. Peace to the brother Nana. Brother, I love your work. I'm actually one of your followers on Facebook. I watch your videos all the time. So let me give you a big greeting. Peace. Peace, Hotep, to you, my brother.
The fool.
And what I love about your teachings is because you do comparative studies. Is what it is. It's a comparative analysis between modern Akan or Twi language and the Akan tribe of Ghana. Not just in West African tribes in general, but the comparative connection between modern living culture and ancient Kemetic and Nubian culture and how the two correspond, because that's something that I also teach, and we're actually working on a book. I actually got a class today. We're doing some comparative studies on Ifa and Yoruba, but we're also going to talk about Akam or the Akamfo as well, because like you said, you see in my name, brother Kansu Nyame Ray, just like the brother was saying, that Nyame is the Akan or the Twi way of saying Amen. And it's also more accurate because it's coming from a living African language today. So to answer the brother Kyle who posted a question, he said, why did the language change? And what the brother I think is explaining is that the language did not change. the Twi language of the Akan today
I go
is
the first
the
put
living
out.
remnant of the ancient Medu-Neter language, and the Akan tribe of today
God,
are the living remnants of the ancient Egyptians and
you
Nubians.
make your my own thought. This one they
So
like for you.
I just wanted to say that, man, and peace to salute to the brother, and I definitely love your information. Peace to everybody on the panel.
Yeah,
KL, but I would love to discuss that with brother KL, and I'm pretty sure the brother would as well, because he's sharp.
I hope that helped you out, brother Kyle, with your question. Like you said, y'all seeing it here first. Lions Den, we bringing the conscious continental Africans right here to your doorstep. Naga World Order, Naga 9 Studios. Y'all know how we get down. We bring nothing but the truth, nothing to you but raw, unadulterated facts, nothing stepped on. This is coming directly from the people themselves, bro. So let's show our loves. If y'all got any questions, like, please do not hesitate to ask them. Hop on the panel. We're not doing no heckling or nothing like that. We letting this brother cook. He is doing a very good job.
Let me say one last thing too, but before the brother continues too. If you do, I study up under a teacher called Ojidafo.
Ojafo Kwesi Peter Ra. He's a great guy. I love him. You see, let me put this one. Ojafo Kwesi Peter Ra, he's not a human being. He's an ancestral spirit which has come back again.
That's right. He's
a great man. Ojafo is a great man. Let me tell you, that guy is a very great man. Yeah. So we can continue now.
Right. And I just want to say to Brother Kaya, that would be a good bill, because I'm willing. The methodology that myself and the other brother is also displaying is called, in linguistics, it's called comparative analysis, or the comparative method, or the comparative historical analysis. And it's basically showing that the Akan Twi language of today, along with other West African languages too, are cognates. They are genetically related to the ancient Egyptian, Kemetic, Nubian languages. And peace, and I'm gonna stay on because I want to hear the brother Bill.
So brother, can you go into, because like I said, man, we all loving this, man, like, because we always hear it coming from our side. So this is a treat hearing it come from the other side of the water. That's man, because we get people heckling us saying, "Oh, y'all ain't no damn Egyptians, y'all ain't no Nubians, y'all ain't this," and we like, bruh, like our ancestors are telling you that they migrated from these areas. Like all of these.
Can I ask a question quickly? Can I ask a question quickly, please? If
well, hold on. I wanted to give my question now. I had let Brother Conchu go before me.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And I was about to say,
go ahead.
Thank you. Appreciate it. So brother, it's powerful information. It's not often we get to hear continental Africans, especially directly from West Africa, come on and give firsthand accounts and information on your very own culture that you actually live your whole life. So there's two questions I just want to ask you based off of what I gathered from what you said so far. First, in the very beginning, when you were speaking about the creation story in regards to your belief, you mentioned something about a primordial darkness, and just now you mentioned how you had a supreme being who was like a primordial being, how you had a creator, and I forgot what the other one was classified as. But would that supreme primordial being be the same as the primordial darkness you referred to earlier? And the second question would be, I heard you say that the people of the Akan and Asante were not Christians, right? Under that same understanding, would you also say that they weren't Israelites either, and that they were not speaking?
We're not gonna do that, man. Come on, man.
It's just a question. He attacked the Christians, so
he hasn't attacked anyone. He hasn't attacked anyone.
Okay, all right. Well,
I don't know. Like, y'all want that question to go through, because the brother not here to demonize Christians or demonize Israelites.
I'm not trying to get him to demonize anyone. He made a statement, and I just want him to clarify on what he's saying. Is he saying there was no Bible, or that they weren't Israelites either? I just want to get directly from the horse's mouth what he was leading on to.
Yeah. Okay. I got your question. Let me tell you this. When we talk about Amen Amenet, which is the primordial darkness is where Amen Amenet exists. Let me tell you, if you close your eyes, you see darkness, but you can dream within your dreams. I hope it's right. If you go, if right now, if it is in the dark, you go to any water source, you not see the under, it's dark. When every individual sleep, before you can transcend and go to your dream state, you go into darkness. So within the darkness is Amen Amenet. When you talk about darkness, darkness represents the primordial being. That is the primordial being. Please, sorry, I'm coming. Jack Blacktop Lab Hawaii. So Amen Amenet represent the primordial darkness, which is the hidden permanent, which represent the darkness, the dark everywhere that you see darkness. Even scientists have proved that darkness is all part of our lives. Even in the afternoon,
so just to get clarity, brother, you're saying your supreme being is darkness?
Yes, our supreme being is darkness. The supreme being is darkness, where all life came from. That is where black or dark color can give you all the separation of all the light spectrums.
Thank you,
and
brother.
Israel never existed, but it is coming from Isis, Ra, and El. Isis is coming from a plagiarized name, which is Uset. Ra is coming from a plagiarized name, which is called Nananyankrontong. And El is talking about what? The bright. El, if you trace the etymology of El means Elohim, which is the bright ones or the shining ones. So Isis, Ra, and El represent Israel. Israel never represent any people on this earth. There is no Israelists. There is no even Hebrews. Hebrews and Israelist people never existed. Hebrew is talking about the Hebrew people. The Hebrew people is talking about the people that cross the river Nile and travel towards across other countries or other sites to create their own civilization by the black people. So they call the Hebrew people or the Berber people, the Hebrew people. Okay, before they change it to the Hebrew. Okay, so the Hebrew people is talking about the people that cross the river Nile. You can do your research. The people that cross the river Nile. And the Isis or the Israelites is coming from Isis, Ra, and El. The people that gave honor to Uset, Usa, Ra, and Hiru. I hope it is very clear. I don't want to go deep. I hope it is clear for this explanation, my brother.
Yeah,
that was great. That was great.
Yeah, you did that. You know what I'm saying? He brought that up because I particularly push the doctrine that God is light. Like God is light, light is electromagnetism. And so because a lot of people are so hung up on the light part, we have not been able to discuss the darkness. We have not been able to discuss time and the singularity that also goes with that concept. But you know what I'm saying? It was a nice question. So like I said, we just gonna move on with it, man. And again, could you talk to us more about like the mother goddess cults that came out of Africa or that is still present in Africa? Are there still mother goddess cults in Africa, and are they still being worshipped or revered?
Yes. The greatest symbolism, the greatest deity Africans, Ghanaians have ever worshipped is Mother of the Waters, Namami Wata. Mami Wata is the greatest deity. That is why the whites and their offsprings, they demonize Mami Wata. They demonize the Mother of the Waters and told us that whenever that we go to water, we see an evil spirit. Evil, E-V-I-L, is the same as L-I-V-E. Bible, as my brother said, Bible is coming from our ancient books, which were combined together to make it one. So the greatest deity ever. That is why if you go to Jeremiah 44 verse 17, they signify the feminine energy as the queen of heaven. If you go to Proverbs chapter 3 verse 15 to 18, length of day are in her right hands. Riches and Anna are in her left hands. If you go to Revelation chapter 12, there appeared a great wonder in heaven. A woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet. Tracing back to the mother of the waters. Water is the same as Martha. Mama is coming from Martha. Mother. Okay, and it's only water that can take the three states, which is liquid, solid, and gas. As we human beings, we take this form, liquid, solid, and gas. That is the liquid form from the sperm and the ovum. Embryo, becoming a fetus, coming down as what? A human being. taking form as what our bones and our body, dying, the body going down to the grave, the Sheol, the Hades. Now our spirit now ascending to the higher realm, the high realm above. That is our soul. So the greatest deity on this universe, on this cosmos, that is why the Roman Catholic, they represent Mary. Mary is coming from Mary, mother of the race, mother of the sun, mother that gave birth to the sun. So the Black Madonna is all tracing back to what? The feminine goddess, the masculine and feminine deity combined together as one that give birth to all this existence, coming from the primordial waters, Mami Water. So the greatest deity we've ever worshipped, we ever knew on this set is talking about the mother of the waters, Ma. That is why they symbolize this feminine energy as a human with what? A fish tail or a snake tail. They want to scare us from that. And if you come to Ghana, any greatest priest, all the priests that they are in Ghana, most of them are connected to the river goddess. Especially if you are going to every town, every community in Akan, in Ghana, you cross a river. This tells you that the river controls our cities and our town. And the river goddess are the great deities that protect our town. Especially my hometown. I can use my hometown as an example. My grandmother told me when it is festivals, Ohum, we celebrate Ohum. Where I am, we celebrate Ohum. We celebrate Ohum, Ohum as our festival. That is where we don't make noise. They told us that, yes, we have the Homoho, the Yam Festival, and all those stuff. Yes. Where I am, we celebrate the Ohum Festival. Before Ohum Festival we initiate, there is a great palm that is near a great river in Tafo, in eastern region, some places called Tafo. When you go, you see that the middle of how do we say it? Menkensro. When you talk about the Menkensro, Menkensro is talking about the middle part of the palm tree. Before we celebrate every Ohum, the palm tree, the middle of the palm tree curled and touches the water. Okay, it is made by a goddess, and when it touches the water, Ohum is sent, or a message is sent to all the Akan community that we are going to celebrate Ohum. And the Ohum that we celebrate, we don't celebrate Ohum to clarify any date, but we celebrate Ohum to clarify what? The river goddess in Asia, in what? The eastern region, which is Brim, River Brim, Nana Abna Brim. River Brim is a deity the Chinese, the Indians and the Chinese are calling them Shiva and all those stuff. When you see Shiva, Shiva is a picture which was it's a picture taken from the water goddess Brim in Ghana. That was in the 1890s. That's when they were building the Brim bridge. Shiva is Brim goddess. The Nana Abna Brim, that is eastern region goddess, the river goddess, the Shiva that they are calling. That is why they trace back to what? Shiva is tracing back to the All-Fight. It's tracing back to the mother of the waters. So the reason being that any city, any town in Ghana, okay, was built upon the river goddess. So when it is a festival, they go there, they go beside the river goddess, they pour their libation by the king, pours his libation, do his incantations, and there's a manifestation of what? Either a snake or a fish, telling us that the goddess has what? Accepted or what? Our rituals. And when it is festival and they perform these rituals, any woman who is barren, after the rituals, they allow the woman to bath the water, and every woman comes out successfully with a child. This is telling you the highest deity, the greatest deity that we ever worship is Mami Wata, mother of the waters. So even in Akan, at first, before you come to every community or every home, we call it Ebusia. We have the Ebusia Penny. Ebusia Penny represents the chief or the head of the family. There was what? A deity or a family deity. The Ebusia Penny is the one that pours libation in Anna, okay, for the whole family. And before Ebusia Penny will pour libation, he has to give reverence to the primordial waters. Okay, the reason is that our ancestors knew that all life is coming from water. Even we human beings, our essence is water. So they symbolize the great deity as what? The primordial water. And the moment you give honor to the Mami water, the primordial waters, you've given honor to Amen Aminet, which is the great hidden permanent abiding being.
Facts. So yeah, that's interesting you say that, because when I went through my installment and my outdooring ceremony with with Asare, that was one of the oaths that I had to take. I had to take an oath to the rivers. I had to take an oath to the waters of the world, because the waters connect all of us together, no matter where you are on the planet. And that's right. And that's one of the rituals that you have to go through when you're going through installments or outdooring ceremony, dealing with royal houses and stuff. Like I said, a lot of what people just not familiar with this stuff, because they just don't. They deal with Africa from an outsider perspective and not an insider perspective. So,
Sure.
you know, you just have to excuse some of our ignorance when it comes to some of this stuff, because people just don't know. And that's why I wanted to have this interview with you, so we can hear Africa speak for themselves. You know what I'm saying? So we could just drop all the preconceived notions about what we think about Africa and let Africa speak. You know what I'm saying? So like that's the whole point. Could you dive off further? Like,
Can I just ask a quick question?
Oh yeah,
if
go
you
ahead,
don't
brother.
mind. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's Yasaf again, brother. Nana.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
and we got Kanye on the panel too. I'm pretty sure he want to ask a question, and then you got a few questions you might want to go over and ask him that's in the audience.
All right.
Okay. Right.
Please, I'm coming. Joseph, please, you can post this live on my Facebook. And anyone who is here to support Nana Efia Briba Kofi Kwai Samampom, that is my Facebook. You can inbox me messenger so that you can help donate, support my spiritual center, because this knowledge, I cannot keep it and die with this knowledge. I want to help the generation that is coming. I want to build some people so that they can also transcend in the higher realm, speak to entities so that they can also unveil the secrets, because only one person cannot do it. Okay, so try support my spiritual center. Please, yourself, you can carry on.
Thank you, Nana. Okay, so my question is basically that where would you say the Akans came from?
Oh, okay, okay. This
right,
one,
because
yeah,
where we are
yeah.
now,
This is a
it's
deep
not our land.
question.
So where is our actual land?
Sure,
where would you say is our actual land?
Our actual land is, let me say, Nubia. The first land, the first human being existed was Nubia. Nubia is talking about that now that place is desert. Okay, and we the Akans, some descended from the skies. We call them Ensroma. The Adriana people descended from what? Came from Mother Earth. Okay, and I have is it the Asuna, or is it Asuna, or yeah, Asuna for they came from the skies.
You said the sky, like the SK, in the air.
Yeah, they were descending from golden chains from the skies.
We got celestial ancestors, and then we have terrestrial ancestors. That's right.
Sure, those that came from the land are the Adriana people, the people that we symbolize them with dog with fire in their mouth. It's called Adrian. They came from the rocks. That is why some people were saying in the ancient of the blacks people were living in Mother Earth. We were living in caves. No, we're not living in caves, but indirectly we were firstly living in the earth. Life was existing in the rocks.
Right. Brother Kyle dropped off. Did anybody have any idea what his question was?
No, but Ghana Step is here, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna come back. So you can continue.
Yeah, so again, until those brothers return, unless somebody else got another question, I was gonna shoot them.
Yeah, Ghana Stop.
Yeah, I have a question as well.
Stepper, sorry about that. Hey.
Nah, that's all. I don't really got no PCR brothers and sisters.
Yeah, I have a question.
I cannot hear you.
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
This is Afro-Asiatic. I had a quick question. First, peace to the panel. This is a great build. Much appreciated. Yeah, I wanted to ask the brother, when he speaks about the primordial waters, that is he familiar with Genesis 1 verse 2, where it mentions Tiamat, and Tiamat, yes, is a reference to primordial waters, and it's interesting that the Ti was also carried throughout Africa in many. Can you go into a little bit of the Tiamat of Genesis chapter 1 verse 2?
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll know. Yeah, this one I'll take just a few minutes to explain. When we talk about Tiamat is talking about time in space. Okay, and if you read Genesis chapter 1, it says in the beginning, okay, there was nothingness, and it was what? Darkness upon the water and upon the deep. Okay, this is just talking about what? The creation story. Genesis is talking about Jinn Isis, the genes of the Isis or the gene of Isis. When you talk about genes is talking about the chromosomes, the DNAs. And Isis is talking about Usa or Usa and Uset. The moment you hear about Isis, they are talking about the first feminine deities or first feminine deity that gave birth to what? Human beings, which is Uset. That is why we say gene Isis, the gene of Isis. Okay, the gene of the waters, and Isis traces back to Uset. Uset traces back to Mother Earth. Mother Earth traces back from what? The primordial waters, the mother. So Genesis is coming from gene Isis. So the creation story, which is akin to the Tiamat, according to the Genesis creation, is all talking about how Amenet, how this creation came into being according to the Akan cosmology. But when these people were writing the Bible, they tried to hide what? Our knowledge from us. That is why they mixed everything in Genesis chapter 1, verse 2. Even if you go down to Genesis chapter 1, verse 26, 27, that is God said, let us create human being in our own likeness. It's talking about Peter. Okay? Peter, which is the functional, the dark force that lives in every human being, or every functioning thing, or every living thing. Okay? So the Tiamat is just talking about what? Time in space. That every individual as a water. If you put water in a ceramic cup, scientists have proved that water is one of the greatest entity that has a memory, that can keep what? Memory. If you get two water, you put one under a chaotic frequency and you put one under what? A cool frequency. With some 30 years, you see that there is a different relationship. So when we talk about Tiamat and talking about the creation story, it's just talking about what? The gene of Isis, the creation of what? The universe from the primordial waters through Ra-Raet. I hope it's clear. Or you want me to go deep?
Yeah,
Hey,
keep
Master
Yes.
Pacho, Ayana, Bidi Yasaf Samora, Ayana, watch me on Facebook, and I said, Mama me, Udino, na ye nkasa. They say Bidi Yasaf Samora, Ayana, what hit me up on Facebook.
Pacho, spelling mami na mi spelling because I thought it be a me call online and nipa ne dos nti na mi udino. Akosi mami pepa na mi intro.
Yo, Y.
Y.
A.
Y A.
S A P H.
Y A. S A
P H.
P H. Yasaf, Samara.
Correct. Yeah, and Samora. So we need Samora Michelle.
Samuela, and Samuela.
Samora Michelle. So we need Samora Michelle.
No, spell it for me.
Samora.
Mora. Okay, Samora. Okay, Yasaf. Samora.
Pacho, Facebook. Ni kasa why?
Mate, Minya, me so ya wo said ye wo te akankasa na. Please, the audience, please forgive me for speaking the Twi language with my brother, okay? Said ye wo te akankasa no. Minya ya nka obe trending me messages no ama ye nuanom akanfo no. And I say obetimi aboa ye nuanom akanfo no no ma ba me page no ma beboa dia me ye ni nyina. Isan say, you see, baako for sumedura eku and I say odi wani baako hweto amu a and I say odi wani nyinu hweto mu ebo. Ana prayer baako yi a emubu na so ka bom ayembu se ye ka bom ne ye bebra ye betimi aboa ma Ghana ana say bibi for ye ho atoye timi nua Mr. Pacho na won why saa ade na mam.
Yeah, man, we appreciate that, bro. Matter of fact, we would love to like, you know, if you got some brothers that actually teach Twi, you know what I'm saying, and they go live on your page, like come teach us, like this the Lions Den. We got Naga platform, like y'all can actually come teach Twi so we can learn, you know what I'm saying, like y'all culture
I can teach Twi. I can teach Twi for everyone to learn.
So I wanted to ask you, what do you know anything about the Baule Kingdom?
Yeah, Baule Kingdom is talking about the northern people, but I don't actually know what goes into their culture. But I understand that our culture, we have the Bugum festival, the northern people that celebrate the fire festival, and a lot of festivals at the northern region. I'm not actually familiar with. Okay, but I'm familiar with how they go alongside with their culture, and their culture is linked together. You see, they were giving honor to the sun. The Bugum people actually, that is tracing back to these people. These people, these people. the Guru, or I've forgotten. The Zulu people, the Zulu people. They are tracing back to the Zulu people. Okay. Yeah, they celebrate a lot of culture, and it's very, very powerful. I don't actually know much in depth in their culture. Yeah.
Now, so is the now when you talk about like the northern part of the kingdom and stuff like that, or is that specifically Ashanti, or is I mean, because a lot of us don't know the difference between
Yes.
Ashanti,
Yeah.
Akan,
Let me
and
give you.
Ga,
Uh-huh.
like they
Uh-huh.
don't know. And my second part of that question, could you explain how Igbo, not Yoruba, Ga, and Akan are all interrelated and linked? And could you explain that whole thing to us?
Oh, okay. Yes. When you come to Ghana, now our leaders, because of colonization, they've divided even Ghana into different let me say we have cities, okay, and different villages. When you take Ghana map, the north, or when you take Ghana map, when you draw the Ghana map, the top side is where we call the northern region. That is where it is tracing back to where we first settled. That is going to the desert area. After the northern region, when you come down, is the Bono Ahafo region. The Bono Ahafo region is talking about the first land our ancestors settled. That is Akan settled when they traveled from Mali, Ghana, and Ivory Coast. That is the first land, the Bono. So the northerners are the top of the Ghana map, and the Bono people are the middle. And the Achim people and the Gan people and the Guans and the Fantis and the Gan Adangwe, the Evers, we are all at the south. That is where you see the Ever people, the Gan people, and the Fantis alongside the coast. And the Ashanti is closer. Ashanti is closer to the Bono. The Ashanti people came from the Bono people. We are one. The Bono people are talking about Ebunu. Ebunumu. Ebunu means the black people. Okay, the original people. So after Bono, you come to Ashanti, then Eastern region, then you go to the coast. So the northern region is talking about the northern part. If you look at the Ghana map, the northern part is talking about the northern region. And the middle is the middle coming to the south is talking about what? The Ashantis, the Achims, the Gans, the Guans, the Fantis, the Gadangbe, the Evers, and all those stuff. We are the south. Okay, the reason why the Yoruba, the Beni, even the Haiti people, we are all connected is that the deities that we communicate with them, they are the same deities that also communicate with them, but with different names. Like Mausopolisa, which represents the great supreme being, which is Nana Nyamiwa Nana Nyami. It's also called Olokun and Olokun in Nigeria. Okay, like Shango like this, Oshun like this. We are, the names just differ, but the rituals that we do, incantations to venerate them, is the same rituals or the same communication process that we follow. That is why we are linked together. So if I'm a Ghanaian and I can, and I want to venerate Oshun, Oshun is called Bosumefi. That is Friday goddess. So the moment I want Oshun, I will, if I'm at Nigeria, I'll not mention the name of Oshun, but I'll use Nana Efi or Bosumefi. It's your child, Kofi. I'm venerating you to help me. And Nana Efi knows that she's called Efi in Akan. Nana Efi also knows that she's called Oshun in Yoruba. Nana Efi knows that she's called different names according to their accounts. Depending on the land and depending on the food and the dialect that we speak and where we migrated to, corresponds to how we mention the names and how we venerate them. And the reason why most of the Africans, we speak different language and dialects is that when the whites and their offspring came, they forced their culture on us, they forced their language on us, and they changed our culture. Okay, but indirectly, we were using one language. So we know and we venerate these deities in different aspects of what our lands with the same name, but with different tonation according to the land that we stay and the food that we eat, wherever that we go.
So can okay, so I'm gonna go back to like the transatlantic slave trade if y'all don't mind. Okay, so because a lot of the people over here don't really know like their tribal ethnicities and like where they link to, can you if you have any idea of what tribes were actually being affected by slave trade and slave raids, like do y'all know them by name? Do y'all know them by name or whatnot? Because we don't.
Yeah. So if you trace back to, you can trace back to please, I'm coming. Shall I'm feel back why? You can trace back to most of the names. If you have any book according to the slaves names, most of the accounts, the Achim people and the Ashanti people, because our leaders, people, or they were the great, because great leaders that were leading the slave trade. It was most of the accounts and the Achim people. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Can you hear me now? Okay. The accounts, that is the Achim people and the Ashanti people, they faced a lot of trauma in the slave trade. Because if you even look in most of the books, they are possessing Kofi, Kwabna, Atta, Kwame. Okay, if you trace back the account, the Achim people suffered a lot of the slavery. Because if you trace back to the slaves' names, they were tracing back to account names, or the Achim people are names. And the Achim people are the people that gave names according to the soul days. The 7 days of the week are deities, okay? And every deity manifests with its own energy. And in Akan, the day every child is being born, it's a king that child is coming from that day's or that deity's what energy, or that child is a child of that deity's energy or that deity. So as today is Thursday, any child who is being born under the care of Bosomiya, which is Hero. Okay, Hero. So in Akan, when you are being born, they will give you credit or kra edin. That is your soul day or your soul name. Your soul name corresponds to the day or the day or the deity that controls your responsibility or your functioning on this earth. Monday is coming from Moon. The Moon controls Monday. Mars controls Tuesday. Wednesday is controlled by Mercury. Thursday is controlled by Jupiter, Neptune, and Uranus. Friday is controlled by Venus. Saturday is controlled by Saturn. Sunday is controlled by the sun. So these days of the week, they are deities. So any day that a child is being born, you are being born with what these functioning deities, what energy. So as I'm being born on Friday, before I was coming to this earth, I went to Het Heru, which is Friday goddess, Venus. Venus now spoke with Amen Amenet. Amen Amenet gave me my life function. Then Venus gave me the opportunity to come and manifest on this earth. That is how it's akin to every individual on this earth as an account. So before the slave trade, the Ashanti king and the kings in Ghana, most of them are the southern region. Because as in my previous or my earlier message, I said Osajifo Amotio Folipeni, which is Achimebuakwa also king, combined with Asantehene, that is to say Nana Osei Tutu, and they sold most of the Ghanaians. Today afternoon, I was even explaining to one of my fellow Ghanaians that Osajifo Amotio Folipeni hometown is Chebi. Chebi was the first land, or Nana Osajifo Amotio Folipeni's grandfather was the first person to sell Chebi land for Galamsey. He was the first king to sign for Galamsey. I was telling someone, it's a secret. Osajifo Amotio Folipeni at Chebi, he was the first king to sign for Galamsey in Ghana. That was 1964 or 1961 or so. He signed for the first Galamsey to go on a Chebi. And they were in connection with the slave trade. So most of the people that was affected are the people at the coast, the Fanti people, the Achim people, and what? The Gan people and the Ever people. The Northerners were some few Northerners. The Northerners were the people that Ashanti went to fight them. They take them as prisoners of war, mate them with their women to give what giant people, then they sell them. So most of the people that suffered from the slave trade is talking about the Achim people, the Akans, the Achim and the Fanti people, and the Ever people and the Gan people, the people along the coast, we suffered most. And the Ashanti, the Achim, and the Fanti people, we are one people. We are all staying at Bono. But through this conflict, through this wars, we departed to all where we are staying now. So most of the people that suffered the slave trade is talking about the Achim and the Fanti and the Ashanti people. Before the Gan people, then the Ever people, and few people that was taken along. So if you trace back, most of the people that they were sending them for the prisoners of war, or they call them as prisoners of war, they send them to Cape Coast Castle. Okay, they send them to Cape Coast Castle to make sure that they prepare their final leave to Americas or other parts of the world to carry on their activities. So these are a lot of people. So you can trace back to ancient books or most of the slave books. You hear the names of Akans with their soul names. Okay, like Okofoyao, Nana Okofoyao. You can read about Natena. He was called Natena. Natena was called Okofoyao. Okay, Nana Abna Araminta is called Anita Chungman. They are all Akan names. Nana Abna Araminta, Anita Chungman, and Natena, which is Okofoyao, and Nana Okofo Game. You understand? They are tracing back to the Akan cosmology. And if you go to Haiti, the Haiti revolt was as a result of what? An Akan, who was an ever person. Yes.
Yeah. So here's my next question, right? So are you saying that Nana OC Tutu the first, he's a descendant of
Tutu Ankama?
Yeah. Okay. Now is he coming from the Yoko
Oyoko?
Yeah, he's coming from that.
Yeah, the Ayoko people are the great people coming from the this one. They are the people that they hit. They are kings. Okay.
Can you tell us about if you're familiar with it? Are you familiar with Ayakush?
Yeah, Ayoko. The Ayoko people are the people who are coming from Hiru. Hiru is talking about the king who succeeded Usa. Usa is the king. When you talk about Usa represents the first king. The first king also represents the first light. The first light also represents what? The first ancestor, who is Usa, who traced back to the kingship, who gave birth to his child, who is Hiru, who come and succeed. So the Ayoko people are coming from what? The Usa tribe. They are kings. Okay, so Tutu and Kama. Okay, Nana Osei Tutu is coming from what? Get Tutu and Kama. Before they were corrupted. These are the kings that they were leading us. The ancient kings are the rare kings that they were leading us. But because of what? Misinformation, misinterpretation, and bad leadership, they change our culture and bring us down. Do you understand? So the Ayoko people are the people who are kings. They are descendants of Hiru, Usa, and Uset.
Facts.
Okay, sure.
So can now we're just gonna switch gears a little bit because like I said, we like to give reverence to the matriarchal thrones and our women or the queen mothers.
Yes, the clans, the 7 clans are all represented by feminine energies.
Oh yeah,
that is the 7 children of Heteru. You can go about the 7 children of Heteru. Okay, we call them Heteru, the children of Heteru. Heteru is called Bosumefi, Friday goddess. Heteru is the goddess that they trace back as what? Isis.
Right.
It's deep.
Yeah. So can you talk, if you have any knowledge of it, can you talk to us about Queen Nana Abina?
Yes, Nana Abina. Yeah, Nana Abina Araminta. That is Anita Tungman. I hope that is right. Or
you say what?
Are you talking about Nana Abina Araminta? That is Anita Tungman.
Okuka.
Come again.
Nana Abina Po Kukua.
Nana Abina Kukua.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's the same called Anita Tungman. Oh, I'm not right.
Oh no, I'm asking. I just want to know.
Oh, you don't know.
Well, see, the thing is, I know, but our audience don't know. Like a lot of us just don't know about African history. They don't know nothing about the warrior queens. They don't know nothing about the stuff you're talking about. So unless somebody bring it up, they won't know. So I'm just throwing out names of the some of the kings and queens that I know.
Santua for the British over here. But Anita Tungman is called Nana Abina Araminta. Nana Abina Araminta is called Anita Tungman. She was the queen that when they took some of our ancestors to the slavery era, she was one with closer to what the Pope, not knowing every secret that was revealed to her. She bring forth to what his people or his slave people at home. So she was also having a great ancestral deity because she was growing up from a family. Her family was a Akan family and they were following their ancestral culture. So the family gave her a great deity that she was using. So anytime that they go to church, they were Catholics. She was working under the Pope. So anytime that she goes to church or she goes to church, she never performed in their church activities. But indirectly, she made sure that she pay homage towards the family deity that they gave to her. So any crew or any actions that they plan against the black communities, she comes to tell them. Okay, and she was trying to build a great people to fight against these people. Even though she tried her best, she couldn't fight them, but she was able to take most of the slaves away from where that they were to escape from slavery. Nana Abla achievement was very great. They were falling. They were falling in water. They were sinking, lost in the forest, and all those. But she was able to liberate his own or her own people. They established new community of themselves. So as it applies to Nana Kwabena, yeah, Nana Kwabena too as well. He also fight as a revolutionist against the whites. Okay, Nana Okofo Kwabena, that is Natena. And Nana Yasantua was also the greatest queen in Ghana that was able to stand in for the Ashantis. When their kings were following the British, she stood in for the British. That is why we are having great feminine deities or great feminine ancestors that were able to set great history for us to follow. And these histories, when we remember these histories, these are the stories or these are the histories that give us the greatest morale. Me, this is most of the histories that gives me the greatest morale. Like this man, Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah was also one of the greatest person who was able to bring civilization and brings independence to Ghana. Okay, these are the great people. When I remember their achievements, at times I try to do more for my people, and I'm hoping that one day, with reference to what I'm saying, one day, Ghanaians are going to liberate themselves from this mental slavery and this colonizers' ideas.
Yeah, facts, man. I wish the same thing for our people on this side of the water, bro. Because again, I tried to contact with Conscious Ghanaian. I don't know if you know that the person who owns that channel from Ghana, but it's a guy. His name Conscious Ghanaian, and I tried to get I tried to get a interview with him to do the same thing you doing, because I had never heard of conscious Africans. Me personally, I had never heard of that. So like
I
said,
not easy.
So this is a treat. This is a treat to have somebody who has a whole different perspective of African spiritualism that's not necessarily rooted in the traditional beliefs that we know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like I said, man, y'all most definitely got to teach more about the queen mothers, the warrior queen. Like a lot of us don't know nothing about them. Like the queen mothers, the kings, they had great warriors, great queens, great kings that did great things for our people. You know what I'm saying? On and off the records. And a lot of that stuff is like oral traditions. It's not even in the books nowhere. Like you can't even pick up a book and look at that stuff. So the only way for us to get that information is by talking directly to y'all, and y'all talking directly to us, and for us to understand that information between us. Don't let us hear this information coming from the cracker, coming from the white man. You see what I'm saying? We want to hear it coming from y'all, because we tired of getting all the information stepped on and people just telling us what they want us to hear. You see what I'm saying? So again, man, I really appreciate your time, man. You know what I'm saying? We've been on here for like almost 2 hours, and we're gonna bring it to a close, man. And if we can get you back on here to talk or to demonstrate anything, man, please don't hesitate. Hit up Sister Karima, hit me up. I'll get you linked in with them. Like whatever we got to do, man, to keep it going, bro. Because like I said, you doing that work on your side. We doing the work on our side. to edify our people and to bring the knowledge and bring the truth back to the forefront. I really, really appreciate you bringing that information. You brought up Naga, you brought up Kush, you brought up the links and ties between the Hebrew and the Israelite people and how we're all actually one people. You know what I'm saying? So there's no reason to really conflict about those different ideologies. You see what I'm saying? So, man, I really appreciate that, man. If any of y'all got any other questions for the brother, we're going to let him go. If you know what I'm saying? If so, just go ahead and step up, speak up.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is my
Okay.
just one last question on Nana. Do you see any relationship linguistically or culturally between the term Nana in West Africa, or Nana Baluku, I believe, and the Queen Inanna of Mesopotamia? They have
Inanna.
similar.
Sure.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, the Inanna is talking about Mesopotamia. Mesopotamia, if you Google, if you put in Google, the Mesopotamian people are called the Akkadian people. The Akkadian people are not firstly called Akkadian, but indirectly, they are called the Cana people. The Cana people are called the Kana people. The Kana people are called the Kangi people. The Kangi people were misnomed called the Sumeria or Suma people, tracing back to the Akkadian or the Mesopotamian people. They call the moon goddess as Inanna, Nana, Ashira, Astati, which is tracing back to the accounts giving honor to the moon goddess. Inanna represents the moon goddess, the black feminine deity that existed in the primordial darkness, which is talking about the Inanna, Nana, which is the moon goddess, which is also tracing back to the sin god, sin, which is tracing back to the moon god. So I did a video called "We Are Not Born into Sin, but We Are Born into Skin." SKIN. Skin is the same. K was taking us from what? The skin, giving us what? Sin, SIN. And sin god is tracing back to what? Inanna, Nana, Ashtati. That is tracing back to the moon god. And it is what the accounts or the rare people, or we are the people that were giving honor to these deities. So these are the small things I can briefly tell you. Okay. I hope it's clear.
Oh yeah. That's most definitely. Like I said, I'm Nia Marte. In the God people, they use Ni and they use Na to represent the same thing. Just like Nana, Nanya.
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same thing.
Like how they
I be
use Ra. Some people
Yes,
use
sir.
RE, which is Re. Some people use RA, which is Ra.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm very familiar with that, man. We appreciate the time, brother. We're gonna let you go and get back to your night, man. Have a blessed time, man. Hotepu, man. You know what I'm saying? We really appreciate you. Salam Shabbat to all the Hebrew Israelites out there. You know, peace to the gods, to all our 5%ers. You know what I'm saying? Naga out, Lions Den. Make sure y'all share, subscribe, do y'all thing. We gonna keep it going, keep it live. You know what I'm saying? We doing big things out here, y'all. Peace.
Peace and love. So I shout out to everyone over here too. Please, you can go to my Facebook account. That is Nana Efia Riba Kofi Kwai Samampum. The name is long, but I'm sure Sister Karen will put the name down there, my Facebook account, so that people can reach me over there. And as I've been saying, I'm for truth. I'm not here for fame. I'm not here for money. I'm for truth, for the world, and for the next generation and the generation ahead of us. And anyone who wishes to support what I'm doing, you can inbox me through my messenger on Facebook. I love everyone.
Yeah, make sure you just send us your information, brother, so we know how we can support you properly.
Okay. I'll send you for the donation or my Facebook account.
We can donate directly to your Facebook account.
No, I'll give you a cash app. I'll send you my cash app.
Okay,
account.
you got cash app.
Yeah, I got cash app.
Okay, well, okay, yeah. You got it then. Just drop your cash app on us, man, and we'll pass on, bro.
Okay, I'll do that. When we finish, as you inbox me, message, I'll send it to you through your inbox. That is Facebook Messenger. I'm at work. You can. I was at work, but I made sure.
Hey, man, we appreciate it, man. You taking the time out, man. You know what I'm saying? You the first one that did it, man. That actually stood. What you doing there?
Yeah, I'm doing extraction. See, I'm a scientist. Okay.
You a scientist?
Yeah, I'm a scientist.
Get the fuck out of here. You a scientist? Oh yeah, man.
Yeah,
We gonna link up. Hey, so what do you know about electromagnetism? Do you deal with
I know
electromagnetism?
more. Yeah, I do more. I do more with electromagnetism. I know more. You see, this universe is made with what? Electromagnetism.
Woo.
If you look at the sun, the earth.
Hey, that's a
You
whole
ever
nother
thought of
show,
how
bro.
the sun?
Hey, that's a whole other show. We gonna chop it up on that because I'm big on the
Yeah.
science, man. I'm big with the science, big with electromagnetism, man. We gonna have to talk on that, man. You a scientist. You're a scientist.
Sure. Yeah. So I'm at the lab. Yes, my lab.
Peace, man. Hotel, man. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you as well.
Tune in later on. We got a treat for y'all later on with a debate league, another debate league. So it's gonna be good. So tune in.